guys, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. How are we all doing today? Let's go. Let me know if you can hear me, just to make sure that my computer is cooperating. Let me switch this to live chat. There we go. Yeah, let me know if you can hear me, guys. Yay, amazing. All right, we'll give it 2 more minutes. Hey guys. Hi, Transport King. Yeah, the lockdowns and yeah, I was just looking at this. FreightWaves has a new article. West Coast container ports hit as labor talks take ominous turn. Yeah, I need to look more into it. It's insanity. Yeah, the economy is doing strange things. Do I have a TikTok? I do not. I do not have a TikTok. Hi, Sandro. I do not have a TikTok. I have an Instagram, but that's pretty much the same thing I post in the community posts. And then I have a Patreon for exclusive content, which just started. So there's not much there, but I'm working on it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Are you available to hire for some consulting? I am not. I'm not, because my plate is so full. I can barely find time to, oh, it's 4:30 Eastern. I can barely find time to lay down and do nothing. Yeah, I kind of packed my schedule, and with this Patreon now, I have a schedule of when I have to upload and what I have to upload. So yeah, now I'm completely like, it's crazy. I am so sorry. I will butcher your name right now. Abdirashid, I'm about to get started. You mean in a trucking company? You're looking to start a trucking company? Yeah, this channel has pretty much, mostly recently I have been focusing on market, examining the freight market. But I do have videos like from a year ago or so where I talk about starting a trucking company. Mr. Texas, you didn't miss anything yet. We just got started. Hi, David. Hi, everyone. Can you please, Kiev, Kiev. Kiev, yeah, Ukraine. I'm from Mariupol, you know, the city that does not exist anymore. It's a port city. Yeah, it does not exist anymore, unfortunately. That's, I mean, yeah. Oh, that's amazing, Jeff. Thank you. What do I actually do? I run I have 2 trucking companies, and I dispatch my own trucks. That's my main and primary job. YouTube is a hobby. It's not a job. YouTube is a hobby. I made Patreon a job now, since people have to pay a membership there. But YouTube is a hobby that I absolutely love. And I just love the fact that we can create a community like this and have lives and talk to each other. And it's just amazing. I love YouTube. I learn from you guys all the time. I hope you learn something from me too. Dennis Ivchenko. Who's Margot? How many loads a week do your flatbed average? Usually we do 1-day loads. That's usually, sometimes we'll do a very long load. Like right now, both flatbeds are on long loads. One was to California for home time for my business partner, and the other one is to Florida, a long load. But usually it's Monday, Tuesday, 5 loads a week. Yeah, usually. Hi, Crystal. I'm glad she watches. Do I do cost per day? I don't. I do cost. I know my cost per mile. Yeah, cost per day varies so much. I do, however, keep track of like what was the income, the projected income from the load versus what were the real expenses that day to see what is going on. Yeah. So what the fook TPOR says we bottomed. You know what? Freight Waves actually said the same thing. They say that the spot market seems to have bottomed, but they do not think that the rates will rise. They believe that we're going to hang around here for the rest of the year. This is what they think. Thank you, Flavio Car Meets. Денис, я по-русски разговариваю чуть-чуть, ну плохо, but mostly it's English. My Russian is horrid. I butcher it, it's terrible. And unfortunately, I do not speak Ukrainian or Georgian. Yeah, even though I'm half Ukrainian, half Georgian, I kind of failed in that department. Getting back into the game, DOT and MC got reactivated. Here's hoping that produce season helps us. From what I saw yesterday, so far it's slow. It's a slow start to produce season. Hopefully it starts picking up, and due to weather, I think that if it does start picking up, it's going to, of course, be a shorter produce season, but so far it's, yeah, delayed start. Oh, starting a dispatching, not trucking company. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot. I always say, if you're the kind of dispatcher who's going to give your clients a service other than just finding well, first of all, if you're a good negotiator and you manage to get higher paying loads than your client, that is, of course, amazing. But another thing you should consider is offering additional services to your clients, because a lot of owner operators who are one, or carriers with a one truck show where they're driving for their own company, it's really hard. They have a lot to focus on the road, so you have to make their life easier. So yeah, you could. There are still a lot of new carriers coming into the industry. I keep tabs on it every single day. So there are a lot of new carriers coming into the industry every single day. Of course, there are a lot of revocations and voluntary revocations as well, but thank you, Armando. AD. So, guys, if you can help him out, he said he's ready to switch from port work to regional Texas and Louisiana runs. What does he need? A day cab or a sleeper? Are you doing flatbed by any chance, or what kind of equipment are you running? Thank you, Mojo. Some people hate me for that, by the way. Thank you, Sarwar. I appreciate you guys. That is really kind. Hello, hello to everyone. I do not know of anyone who needs a dispatcher at the moment. Whoops, where are we? Not much, Roadrunner Logistics. What's up with you? How are you doing? Did anyone else see YouTube saying that the live would start 8:30? Huh. Did it say that? Did I accidentally make a mistake? I'm pretty sure I put 4:30 Eastern. Safe drives, what the folk? I love your username. I have to be very careful. Thank you, Roberto. Of course. I appreciate you guys. I really enjoy these lives because I like answering your questions, and I learn from you. You guys start talking with each other in the chat and I start reading it and I learn a lot, just like with the videos. I heard work is starting to pick back up. Is that true for flatbed? For flatbed, look, for flatbed, I try to keep my flatbeds always in the southern states, right? And there is a good amount of work there. Texas was worse last month than the month before. Our net income, I believe, was, geez, I need to compare to what we made last month. I don't know from the top of my head, but I know that the rate per mile on average was lower than the month prior to May, so April. Um, but yeah, California, I'll tell you tomorrow, once I have to get my guy out from California, I'll tell you how it is in California. California, from my experience, is a crap state for flatbeds, dry vans, for reefers, not so much. Roberto, that's a great question. So I I need to start, I always say that I don't specialize in cargo vans, sprinter vans, hot shots. I need to start looking at that. Um, I'll be completely transparent right now. I'm so pressed for time because of everything that's going on, but I do need to start looking into that. And if I manage, as well as intermodal, a lot of you guys have been asking me for intermodal, and I just haven't had a moment to breathe. But yeah, I need to start looking into that. And once I have the data, of course, I'll share it with you guys. Will my guys ever be guests on the channel? Probably not. They're very private. Transport King, you're Italian and German. Wow. German, I don't know how to speak German. German is my favorite language. I think it's one of the most beautiful languages out there. And people think that I'm insane. Usually people say French, Italian, Spanish, because they're like it's like a melody, but German is one of my favorite languages. It's gorgeous. Some of my colleagues are Lithuanian. I don't even know what Lithuanian sounds like. I can't like put my my ear to it. I don't know how to even say that. I don't even know how it sounds. Does it sound a little like Russian? Are you planning on dispatching sometime in the future? You mean outside carriers? So yeah, maybe. So right now, the way everything is, for those of you who know, uh, we have two small trucking companies, and I'm not just dispatching the trucks, right? That's not my primary job. I mean, it is, of course, but I also do everything regarding to paperwork, compliance, back office, everything except for driving. So at the moment, taking on more carriers to dispatch, I just feel like I would not be able to do a good job or give it my 100%. For that, I would have to start hiring dispatchers, which I am open to when I have a moment to train. I cannot train at this time, like be hands-on training dispatchers to let them know what I am looking for. Does that make sense? AD, I answered your question about flatbeds. Mhm. Abdi, yeah, we operate interstate, so you need IRP, apportioned license plates. You need IFTA, of course, and state-specific permits you need for Oregon, Kentucky, New Mexico, and New York. Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you. Flatbed. Okay, you're looking to operate a flatbed. Yeah, I mean, especially you said Louisiana. Louisiana is really good from my experience. Texas can be a hit or miss depending. Texas is a huge state, so it depends on where you are. Like Midland, Texas, not a good place to be. Depends where in Texas you are, but Louisiana is pretty good. I'm in Southern California. Hi, Lamar. Woke up this morning, can't complain. Exactly. Just like I said in my post the day before yesterday, it's important to see the beautiful things in life, right? We all get so caught up in the day to day of work, especially if it's not going the way we want it to. I know that I can get caught up. Most of those, not most of them, all of those points that I shared in that post were things that I keep telling myself because I have a really, really hard time with that. So very often, like if I see that my guy is stuck and I'm not able to book a load for them, my day is ruined no matter what's going on around me. My day is ruined. I do not see anything good in that day anymore. That's what happens to me. So it's very important to pause, unplug, look around you, and start appreciating the things that are nice or are going right. Uh, Traorella, I'm so sorry. Did you recommend new or old? What do you mean? Do you mean trucks? I do not recommend getting old trucks. Pay attention to the mileage, right? We have that Freightliner that is this is our only used truck at this point. Everything else is new trucks that we bought, we ordered ourselves. But this was our used truck. And it's just, we call, what does my business partner call it? Um, Hold on, I need to tell you guys. Trader truck. He calls it the trader truck because it breaks down at the most inopportune moments and it costs us an arm and a leg every single time. So yeah, if you're talking about trucks, you don't have to order brand new, just buy a fresh truck. Pay attention to the miles. Ask about the transmission. Ask about engine, everything. Do, 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 do. Tom, would I be foolish to attempt to start a dispatching company? Is it too saturated? Not gonna lie, it is pretty saturated right now, but saturated doesn't mean anything, right? It's all about how, if you look at any type of business, someone tried it before and you're gonna have a lot of competition. It's about how do you set yourself apart. That's my belief. Assad, California. Have you ever taken loads from Landstar? Is it better than TQL? Yes, I have taken loads from Landstar. I cannot stand them. I cannot stand them and I do not work with them. I haven't worked with them since, I'll tell you guys, when the last load was. I mean, I'll work with them in the worst case scenario. Landstar. With our baby company, we've never worked with them. And with our original company, brokers. Our last load with Landstar was on December 10th of 2022. The reason I cannot stand them is because of, I even remember that load, it was a flatbed load to Montana. I cannot stand them because when you send them paperwork, right? just for billing, they charge you. You get charged to send them paperwork. And I'm not even speaking about the fact that they're the biggest double broker out there, but yeah. Yeah, what Transport King said. AG, yeah, California is beautiful. There is no denying it. I mean, the rules and regulations here are absolutely ridiculous, right? It's like California is against anyone who wants to build a business. They're against anyone who wants to build a business. I'm still waiting for California to get back to me about this AB5 law, because I have been asking, I keep getting so many emails from you guys asking if we're going to lease on owner operators with their own equipment. And I cannot yet, because I still haven't heard from California about whether this law applies to us. Now, if you're new, if you weren't here at the last live, basically what is happening is that AB5 law might not apply to us, even though we're a California carrier, as long as we hire independent contractors with their own equipment from a different state and they never enter the state of California. Then the state law cannot apply to those people. This is what I'm trying to find out. But I mean, I did find that out over the phone. The guy said that the AB5, the Labor Commissioner's Office, said that the AB5 law should not apply to us in that case. But I need it in writing, because I'm the kind of person, I wear suspenders with a belt, and if anything happens, I have a piece of paper saying that doesn't apply to you. Does that make sense? Have I ever worked in the Canadian market? Unfortunately, I have not. Where to get flatbed loads? Some people swear by the Midwest. I personally am not a fan of the Midwest. I like the South for flatbeds. For those of you wondering, I'm drinking coffee. I drink coffee all day long. Easy travels. Could I get active authority and let it sit to build age while I use someone else's numbers? Again, I get this question all the time. Haven't found a clear-cut answer. Some people say yes, as long as your current carrier allows it. But the thing is, you'll have to keep that authority active. You will have to continue paying for the insurance. Now, I mean, guys, can you help me with this one? Can he get his own authority and let it sit to start aging while he works under another carrier? This is for easy travels, because I never got a clear-cut answer on that. Abdi, I answered your question, and this will be recorded, so you guys will be able to replay it. Overall, does the market seem to be on the incline or going up? I'll tell you honestly, what I see right now, and I'm looking at Sonar. I wish I could share this with you guys, but there is no way, unfortunately, with YouTube. Yeah, there is no way. So with Sonar, I see that the volume spike after Memorial Day weekend is comparable to the volume spike that happened in 2022. It's a much bigger spike in volumes than over the past 5 years, except for 2022, which is good. Now, volumes tell us half of the story. Now, the tender rejection rates are on their way down. They're currently at 2.81. which means that only 2.81% of contract freight is actually ending up on the spot market. And tender rejection rates is what gives us an idea of what the spot market rates will be like. Now, if we take a look at the National Truckload Index for line haul only, this is that one is climbing up. So this is the spot rates without the fuel surcharge. And this is based on dry van data. Currently, we're at $1.64. A few days ago, we were at $1.63 on June 2nd. And the contract to spot spread is now 84 cents, right? Contract pays 84 cents more per mile than the spot market. If the volumes start increasing because of produce, they're going to soak up a lot of that reefer capacity. As reefer capacity gets soaked up, those reefers are no longer transporting dry goods that can go on a dry van as much. So then the need for dry van increases, and that drives, this is how the chain reaction usually happens, right? The need for dry vans then increases and those rates go up. That's why everyone's waiting for produce season. The question is, when is it going to come? Ace Transport. That's very, very smart. I like that. Oh my goodness, it skipped. Oh, thank you, Diesel. I appreciate it. Everyone around me is doubtful. Is it wise to invest money, most of my savings in a semi truck? No. Diesel, I'm going to tell you, if you're investing most of your savings to start a trucking company right now, no. I would say it would be okay to do that if you have a good safety net. Right now, it's just, especially if you're looking for local trucking, that kind of limits you. I would say just wait a little bit. I appreciate your support. All right, where was I? I was somewhere. Um, Flatbed market is way oversaturated, 100%, and it's getting more and more oversaturated. A lot of dry van operators are moving to flatbed at the moment because the dry van market is so bad. Yeah, so flatbed is becoming more and more saturated, unfortunately. But what we have to remember is flatbed is extremely seasonal. Bella, what is my Patreon about? Well, I have 3 memberships. Basically, on the first membership, I do key market movers. I release videos and content that I do not release on YouTube. Like one of the biggest ones, like if you get the second or third membership, is the fact that I release capacity insights every week. How many carriers came into, just got their authority active, as in they didn't just apply, they got insurance and BOC3 on file. How many carriers got their authority revoked, voluntarily revoked, and just the change to see what is going on. And then there's a third tier, mostly for dispatchers, where they get client lists to cold call. Oh my goodness, where was I? Guys, if I miss your question, I'm so sorry. My chat skips, and I am behind. If you're worried that I haven't answered your question and you just asked it, I am behind. I always am. Midland, Odessa, there is nothing out there. Yep. Midland and Odessa are 2 places I will not go in Texas, or El Paso, Texas. Or what else was there? I prefer Houston and Dallas, or the surrounding areas. KYU, what is that? That is the Kentucky number. So if you're traveling through the state of Kentucky, if you're performing any interstate operations, you need a Kentucky permit. That permit is free. It never has to be renewed. The only thing you have to pay is quarterly taxes based on miles. That's the KYU number. I do not know of a place you could get statistics on cargo van rates because I haven't found it yet. If I find it, I'll share it for sure. Kevin, do dispatchers really add value? It depends, right? If a dispatcher, it depends on what kind of dispatcher. That's why I say that competition doesn't, I mean, of course it matters, but it doesn't really matter that much. What matters is how do you set yourself apart as a dispatcher. If you're a dispatcher who is there to just book loads and not really negotiate or fight for your client, you're not going to last long. Or this is not a dispatcher I would ever use. A good dispatcher should, first of all, negotiate with clients. A good dispatcher has to, in my opinion, just be there 24/7 for their client. For me, I am working when my guys are working. So I do not go to sleep if my guys are driving because anything can happen. But I dispatch my own truck, so I have skin in the game. It's a little different. Hmm. Max Move, I didn't understand your question. Football lawyer. Excellent question. So I know California is interesting. Arizona, I haven't checked for reefer. Utah, I also haven't checked. From my experience before, guys, tell me, because we're not operating reefers at the moment, temporarily. Tell me, Utah, historically, every July or so, June, July, when it gets really hot, they have those crazy paying ice cream loads going to Arizona. Is that still true? Especially, you know who posts them a lot? Global Trans. Global Trans used to have a ton of loads from Utah to Arizona, -20 ice cream. Also, what is their name? Geez, I used to love them, something on P. Basically, there's another broker who posts loads constantly from St. George, Utah to Washington, which is cheese. And this also happens in the summer months. This is from prior years. Right now, I don't have as much hands-on experience with reefer because we're not operating our reefers at the moment. I'm losing money and weight too. Yeah. Do I recommend Freightliner or Volvo? We only operate Freightliners, so I would not even begin to know the comparison between the two. But Freightliners are good. They're good until they hit 500,000 miles. Right now, what are the breakdowns on our old truck? Right now, it's the, what is it called? Differential. The differential broke down. What did they say? I have it written down. I have it also in an invoice form, but I have it written down. They said that, oh my God, too many, ridiculous. They said that the power divider, the bearings, the sublines are all done, and that the wheel hubs might also, I don't know anything about trucks. Maybe you guys can figure it out, but yeah. Before that, it was the transmission, which cost us around 30 grand. How many miles is considered good for a used semi? Look, if I was buying, I know that at the 500,000 mile mark is when we start having problems with our Freightliners. So I would say I would be looking at something at 200,000. But also one thing that is very important with used trucks, regardless of how many miles, is the warranty. You must have warranty. Otherwise, you're going to be spending $11,000 out of pocket all of a sudden. And you're out of, basically out of work for a week or two because everyone is super slow now. Transport King. Yeah, see, they say Volvo gets better fuel mileage. I also heard, and I might be wrong, that Volvo has a better turning radius. So Volvos are better for the tight cities. Is that true? Hi, Diesel. I want to start running in only 3 states, Florida, Atlanta, and Alabama. Florida is not my favorite. Florida does not have the best loads. Atlanta and Alabama might be good. What kind of equipment? What kind of equipment are you using? In terms of diesel prices, do I have my diesel map? Hold on. I'm going to find my diesel map. Alabama should be fine. I'm not sure about Atlanta and Florida. I forgot my diesel map is all. DTS, right? Actually, it's not bad currently. In Florida, it's an average. Jacksonville, it's like $3.66 on average. As you get more south, it's more expensive. The Atlanta market is $3.84. Right. Alabama depends, $3.64, $3.67 in terms of diesel. How are the tender rejections looking? Not as good as they did a few days ago. They are on their way down at the moment. And we are currently at 2.81, right? From a high of 3.2 something on the 29th. Yeah. On their way down, plateauing. We'll see what happens once the weekday hits tomorrow. We'll see which way it goes. Again, Freight Waves is saying that it seems like we have bottomed out when we hit the bottom when it comes to spot rates. However, they do believe that we're going to stay at this bottom for a while. I have my authority and I wanted to get my business credit established so I can get funding. All these banks want 2 years. Lamar. Oof, that is an interest. Does anyone know what options does Lamar have? He just started his business and he wants to establish credit so he can get funding, and the banks want 2 years of experience. Yeah, any suggestions? I have not worked in the Canadian market. JA, who are you speaking to here? So you pay taxes here in California? No, we are based in California. So yeah, we pay California taxes, which are ridiculous. I'm actually thinking, I think we're going to be moving one of our companies to another state. First, it will give me experience with moving that company out. And second of all, yeah, taxes. Yeah, this one guy, I agree. California is terrible. Terrible. Sounds like you need to leave California 100%. But as I keep saying, I cannot at the moment. I cannot. If I could, I would. I'd be out of here. Have I ever considered relocating to Texas? Yes, for a long time. Texas is my favorite state. I have never been there, but it's my favorite state. Have I considered relocating there? Yes, until recently. And this is because, oh, look at that. Transport King answered why. Because so many Californians have moved to Texas. And my fear is that the mentality of Californians also moved to Texas. And I'm trying to escape this mentality. I have a USDOT number, California number. Is there any possibility to open a branch or transfer my numbers? Yeah, so that is something that I need to figure out. Technically, I do not see any problem with moving your trucking company to a different state, except for the apportioned plates. And the reason is when you get apportioned plates, they have to be from the state where your business is based out of, right? So for example, if we move to Florida, one of our businesses, we need to get IRP plates from there. Now, to get IRP plates from there, you have to have 3 proofs of residency, which means that one of my business partners will probably have to move there, and we'll have to open up either an office there or something. Yeah, I mean, that's the difficulty that I see so far. AB5 does not apply to companies that hire W-2. Correct. AB5 is only to prevent independent contractors, right? And who it affects the most is owner-operators who do not want to get their own numbers. They have their own truck, sometimes their own trailer, and they work by leasing on to companies. They can no longer do that if they're based in California. I'm a coffee fanatic. Me too. My goodness. Black coffee, best thing ever. Have a coffee mustache. Anthony, tender rejections. I already answered your question, but as a reminder, they're currently at 2.81%. They fell. So we're going to see what happens starting tomorrow. Yeah. Do you run any dry vans? No, we do not currently run any dry vans. We do have a dry van trailer that we are looking to sell currently, but we do not run it because the market is just not there for dry vans as much as we need it to be there. We never lost money on our dry van, but because our operations are very, I mean, they're different, right? The dry van was operated by one of my business partners who did and continues to stay out for the longest periods of time on the road. He has skin in the game. It's different. So we never lost money on dry vans, and the cost of operating was lower, but it was not where we needed it to be. So dry vans are out at this moment. Oh, there we go. Mimi. You worked under another authority while yours aged 6 months. See, so it is possible. I am going to move a little bit faster, maybe. Well, no, I'm not. It's Sunday. um, Yeah, Richard, we do have our dry van sidelined at the moment. The other dry van was rented, and we traded it in. We switched it to flatbed. Please do your traditional. Let's go. Okay. Ready? Let's go. Yes, Transport King, thank you so much. If I don't answer your question for one reason or another, usually it's because I don't see them or it skips or whatnot, email me. I know that I'm delayed in emails. Again, I had a lot going on and still have a lot going on, but I will get back to you for sure. Mhm. Tell us a short one-on-one on negotiating with TQL. So for me, it's a little bit different. TQL, the moment I give them our MC for our original company, doesn't work for our baby company because it's new and we didn't really work with TQL as much there. For our original company, when I give them my MC, they right away say the first thing they will say is, wow, you have an amazing reputation. So with TQL, it's easier to negotiate because in the beginning, when I just started our original company, we worked a ton with TQL because they were the only ones who would give us consistent loads. Everyone else was requiring for some experience, an older MC number. And in the beginning, I cared so much about building relationships with brokers that, yeah, we built an amazing reputation there. And of course, anytime we do a load, even now with TQL, it's always without a hitch. There is always tracking accepted. Everyone picks up the phone. Yeah, this is just the way we try to operate. Negotiating in general with TQL, nowadays, I'll tell you from the baby company perspective, where we don't really have a reputation built at all. It's mostly yelling because they start. I mean, they start being unreasonable and they start raising their voice. One gentleman sent me. I cannot share it because I do not have his permission. He sent me an email where he detailed. I mean, he had a voice recording of a broker, a TQL broker, and what that TQL broker did to him and how he spoke to him. It's insane. Brokers nowadays, especially TQL, big guys, TQL, who else? Echo. Echo used to be one of my favorites. Coyote used to be one of my favorites. I can't stand them. They have a ton of LDI, that's another one. Cannot stand them. It's like a bunch of frat boys who are trying to prove themselves in some way, in the most disgusting way. That's how it feels to me. That's how it feels to me. Oh, I have stories of brokers. I've had, who was it? Magellan recently, Magellan Transportation. We called them on a load, and because we were not answering their questions fast enough about what kind of equipment, et cetera, he's like, we cannot work with you after we gave them the MC. We call back, another broker from Magellan picks up and gives us the load for the price that we asked. This happens a lot with a ton of brokerages. It's ridiculous. I don't know how I got on this topic. Sorry, I tend to vent. Shane Cash, what does your office setup look like? Great question. It's going to change the office setup, hopefully. So stay tuned. Do I own a trucking company? I own two. The best negotiation tactic with TQL is just hang up. I've had those moments. I usually try to educate them and explain unless it gets out of hand. Like if they start yelling or start swearing or being short with me, I don't do well with that. I'm half Georgian. I'm very hot-tempered. I do not do well with that, and my professionalism goes out the window. But if they're polite and they just don't want to budge, I try to educate them before I hang up. uh, Thank you, Alexi. Recommended states for Reefer in June. I mean, historically, we've had the best luck in the West Coast with reefers in the summer months. We would constantly, as I said before, we would transport ice cream loads to Arizona. From Arizona, we would go to The ice cream loads would go to Frey Miller. That horrible receiver. Do you guys know which one I'm talking about? It's not in Phoenix, it's right next to it. And then we would deadhead to Nogales, pick up a produce load there, transport it somewhere either to Washington, Oregon, get some produce from there to Utah, whatnot. We had a lot of luck on the West Coast in prior years. This year might be different. Hi, Munchkin. My son just said, I'm watching your live. Oh, goodness. Um, where was I? I was like, mystery shopper. Yeah, I don't consider myself CEO. I'm one of the managing members. We're three partners of two trucking companies. So we're all the owners, yeah. See, I'm going to if I'm skipping over your question, it's because I answered it already and you can rewatch the video. I just want to get to as many people as possible. At the end of each live, somehow it ends up with a bunch of unanswered questions and I always feel bad. So I'm going to skip over the questions that I already answered. Hi, Roma. Toy box. Volvos have the best turning radius of all trucks. Yeah, that's what I heard. So it's interesting. No Freightliner has the best turn ratio. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know anything about trucks and parts and all of that stuff. Like it's completely not my forte. $2.79 per gallon in Mississippi. That is amazing. Wow. See, we were hoping that fuel prices continue going down. I wonder, let's check. Let's see what the fuel prices are doing right now. The fuel prices currently are they're at $3.99 per gallon on average. So they're continuing to drop. See, that's something I like to hear or see. There were increases in Salt Lake City, Utah, and Green River, Wyoming. Everywhere else, it decreased. It's pretty great. Do you think self-driving trucks are going to keep the rates down forever? I don't think self-driving trucks are going to be a real thing where they will start competing with the general industry for a long time. Just like I don't think electric trucks are there yet to start competing with nice old-fashioned diesel trucks. Let's see. Again, guys, if I'm skipping over your question, it's because I did answer it already and I'm just trying to get to as many people as possible. Do I think prices will go down? My name is Balbal. Of what? Trucks, trailers, loads? Alexi, recommend a good resort to wait out and survive this crisis. You mean like a vacation place? If I could go anywhere, I would go to the Maldive Islands. But that's because I love diving. And the best diving is in the Maldives. But yeah, if you like diving and you like fish and manta rays and whale sharks, that's where you want to go. And it's far away from brokers. You're not going to get calls underwater. My IQ, I don't know. I've never measured my IQ. I'm curious. I'd love to, but I don't think so. Not a genius level. I'm just, as I said in my finding direct shipper loads, I am the thing that I have going for me is research. I'm really good at finding anything I want on the internet, in books, whatnot. I will find the information I need pretty much every single time if I put the time into it. Where's my accent from? You're a fascinating being. Thank you. I'm from Mars. I wish. My accent, I'm half Ukrainian, half Georgian, so that's probably the accent you're hearing. But my first language is English. It has always been English. I speak English from, I started speaking English from the moment I was born. Like my dad and I, we only speak English. And I went to an American school. Flatbed gross income weekly. I don't think I'm going to do it weekly, but I will do monthly performance videos like I always have. The next one for the month of May, I will do next week. I think on Tuesday is when I'll release that, but weekly is too much. You have to understand, making videos, as much as I love it, it takes a while. It takes a while to make these videos. Yes, I am married, and no, he's in a completely different industry. Completely, like night and day. Why did it do that? Oh, there we go. Do you need a DOT number to be a dispatcher? Not necessarily, no. You do not. And yes, you can get a load board subscription like DAT. You can get a load board subscription without a DOT or MC number as a dispatcher. Oh, there we go. Transport King answered. Thank you so much. Guys, we need, I wish we had like a way to applaud Transport King for all his help answering questions and just being the sheriff of this chat. If you move a company to Florida, what part of Florida would it be? Probably northern Florida somewhere. I don't know. I haven't thought about it. I would not move. Personally, I would not move to Florida, but for the company, yeah, probably northern Florida. Not quite Jacksonville, but yeah, not Jacksonville, I would say. Why don't you start a brokerage division to get direct shipper loads for your trucks and broker the rest out? That is a really, really good question. And I feel like if I were to start a brokerage, I would run it differently. You guys know, yeah, I mean, I make enough videos. I would probably run it very differently. And I have you guys, so I would be able to find some carriers and owner operators, and it would be transparent. But the reality is, number one, I don't have time. It's a completely different animal. Number two, I mean, it's an investment, right? With that bond that you have to have. Number three is insurance. I cannot be a carrier and broker at the same time. I mean, you can, but a lot of insurance companies will kick you out or won't want to work with you if you have both. Plus, you should see how many new brokers come into this industry every day. Since I started keeping tabs on the new carrier authorities revocations for the Patreon, I also see how many contract carriers, for household goods, and brokers come into this industry every day. It's insane. The numbers are crazy. Where was I? Coffee, coffee, coffee. Yeah, coffee's the best. I don't know how to UIIA account. Are my guys company drivers are W-2, but my business partners are my business partners. Right now, we don't have any 1099s. That might change if California again says that the 85 law doesn't apply to us. Where do you get the info and tender rejection rates? Well, I have a subscription to Sonar, FreightWave Sonar, which is a huge database of different data and different statistics that's collected across the trucking industry. But if you go to freightwaves.com, you will be able to see, you can follow it yourself. Go to freightwaves.com, scroll down where you will see like a darker part of it's like a gray background, Sonar high frequency supply chain data. And there you will see a chart and you can see the OTRI. Click on that and you'll see the tender rejections. I hope that helps. And I'm sorry if I spoke too fast. Too much coffee. What do I think about Washington State? I've never been there. In terms of like Seattle, not a fan. For freight, for reefers, from what I remember, the Grand View and from the maps, Grand View, Yakima, good places or decent, relatively decent places to be. Have never been there. I've seen pictures, would love to visit. It looks beautiful. Yeah. Thank you, Andre. I really appreciate it. Let's go. Apple hauling, correct. Apples, lots of apples there. Sometimes onions. Can you set up a virtual office like iPostal and get IRP plate? You know what? That is a great question. I don't believe so. I think you need a physical address, but I need to check that. Yeah, once I start really looking into moving our baby company out of California, um, I'll be able to share it with you guys, the process. Do you think other states will adopt laws similar to California's AB5? You know what? There have been some states talking about it. New Jersey is one of them, I know. None of them have done it yet, but yeah, I think, yeah. Although right now the OOIDA, they're fighting California on this AB5 law for the trucking industry. Do I recommend buying a new truck or used? I did answer that question already. Let's see. Um, where was I? So who did you learn all of this? Any mentor? No. The way I learn this data is from personal experience, from dispatching trucks and also from research. I follow the trucking news closely. I break down articles and research. I have access to Sonar. And yeah. Thanks, Blaster. Героям слава. Yeah, RXO is horrible. RXO is horrible. I refuse to work with them, as I said in my previous live, after what they did or what they said to Transport King. Like, I cannot work with a company like that. That's just ridiculous. Could you please speak about box trucks and hot shots as well? I will be, again, like I said, I can find any info anywhere if I put in time. The problem is I didn't have enough time. I don't have enough time at the moment. I will start looking into intermodal box trucks, hot shots, cargo, and sprinter vans to see if I can gather enough data to be able to share with you guys as well. I promise. Some broker agents are super greedy. Oh yeah, 100%. Brokers, they, again, not all of them, but a lot of them. I don't enjoy working with brokers. um, tell me Haru. Jeff Phrase, that is amazing. Yeah, look, in my case, I will never be rude first, right? I was raised in a particular way to have manners and to be polite, always to give people the benefit of the doubt. And I'm one of those people, you are innocent until proven guilty. However, if I hear attitude, the start of an attitude, or cussing, or anything like that from a broker, they're going to get it back from me tenfold. And I do not regret it. I don't care how unprofessional I sound. I just put my best foot forward here, guys. You don't see that part because it's not interesting to see, but yeah, no, doesn't work with me. I see those 100% going up. Yeah. I'm sure you guys feel the same way. As bad as things seem to be, I love trucking. I agree with you. I love this industry as well. It's definitely not good right now, but I adore this industry. Edgar, can you tell me something about the driverless trucks? By the way, hi, dissident, that are in California. I haven't heard they're implementing in California. I haven't heard anything about that. Uh, welcome, Mark Brown. Oh, we're just chatting away here about brokers and stuff like that. Hmm. What will you do when a broker tells you that he'll pay attention for, oh, but will lie? This happens more often than we wanted to, unfortunately. I actually, for a similar reason, I reported Uber to the FMCSA for something like that. It's not going to get you anywhere. There's not much you can do if you want actual results from my experience. But if you want to let off steam, send them a nice email. Nice, I mean, sarcastic nice. Report them to the FMCSA, provide proof of why you're reporting them, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, I wish I had a better answer. I love this comment. I go trucking with my dog Yogi, and he has pooped in every state except New England states because I don't go there. Oh my god. I love dogs. I remember when I came into this industry, it was 109 a gallon. Yeah. I remember, was it I don't remember when it was. It was sometime in 2020 where we were so shocked at California for having fuel at, I think it was like $3 per gallon on average. And now we're at $4 per gallon, pretty much 3.90 something, and it's the average. Andre, I started working with my dad. He thinks the best time to buy a truck will be November. Do I agree? Well, my question is, why does he think November? Is it because, oh yeah, why does he think November? Guillermo, I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. With a partner of mine, we're looking to start a broker firm where we can earn only 7% of the load. Is this to be attractive to carriers to provide? Well, first of all, that percentage seems more or less fair. Second of all, to be transparent, I encourage you, maybe you can be the first one to start breaking the system. Share the paperwork with the carrier that pertains to the load they're transporting for you. Because you can say 7%, but if you're not sharing the paperwork, the carrier doesn't know how much the shipper is actually paying for that load. That's the transparency we're looking for. Where are we? Oh my God, it skipped again. There we go. Do I believe rates will go up? Yeah, eventually they will. Of course, everything is cyclical in this market. Do I believe that rates will go up? I believe that there are going to be bumps in rates, right? I think when produce finally, if it hits, yeah, there's going to be a bump in rates because it will soak up more volume and it will be a chain reaction and there will be some, it won't be a shortage of capacity per se, but it's going to be less capacity than now. And we already see how sensitive the market is. Just from Memorial Day, some carriers decided not to, run. Tender rejections went up, rates went up. The market is very sensitive. So any small change in capacity has a significant change on the load board. Yeah. The question is, when will rates go up and stick there? How did we get into trucking? My family had the idea that they wanted a trucking company because they heard that the profit margins were good at that time compared to other things, and they asked for my help in opening it. So I opened it and I kind of got stuck in the position of running it as well. The back office and the dispatching and everything. Yeah. But I don't regret it. I really, really enjoy this industry. Even at the worst times, even though sometimes I forget that I love this industry. Advocating for the trucking industry at the federal level. How do I do that? I would love to. Mm, I would love to do something like that, but how? I don't even know how. What do you think the best rates for flatbed will be this month? I don't know, but historically speaking, rates for flatbeds tend to peak on the spot market in August. Stab 00, 100%. I agree with you. We really do have, carriers do have the control in their hands to change the way brokers treat them, right? Or the way brokers behave in this industry at the moment. But yes, like you said, we don't have the unity, and it's very difficult to get enough people together to make a significant change, right? That's the challenge. Kurt D, everybody. I have never worked with C.H. Robinson. My first experience with C.H. Robinson was in 2019. And when I tried to negotiate, they didn't budge and they just refused to negotiate. So since then, I refuse. I have never hauled or never booked, never hauled anything personally, but I have never booked a load with C.H. Robinson. I am PADI certified. I'm a PADI rescue diver. Although I might be a rescue diver on paper, but if anyone around me is drowning, basically I'll help them drown faster. I don't remember how to rescue. But yes, on paper it sounds really good. Sure thing, Mark. That can I make a video about how to calculate expenses per mile? I actually made a video on that, and I have a calculator, a cost per mile calculator on my website. If you go to the website truckingmadesuccessful.com and go to free tools, there is a cost per mile calculator which will tell you how much you're spending per mile and whether the loads you're getting are profitable. Do I Do I have a course? Yes, I have two courses. I have a dispatching course for dispatchers or for people who want to learn dispatching. And I have a carrier course for people who want to open their trucking companies. And it goes through everything from the formation of the company to how to get the MCDOT number, state permits, how to file taxes, everything. What tattoo do you have on your wrist? Oh, I have tattoos everywhere. On my wrist, I have name of a family member, then something I'm not going to share. I have tattoos everywhere. I love tattoos. Oh, yikes. Oh, thank you, Jamie. I appreciate your support. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Hmm. I was, oh, there we go. Which is better, percentage driving or cents per mile in this market? Uh, it depends. So to give you an idea, for the flatbed opportunity that we have, we're offering either cents per mile or 70 cents per mile or 28% of gross. Why do we do that? Because flatbed loads are very, I mean, from my experience, we are limited to a very small market area, and sometimes it's very difficult to get those miles. So that's why we offer 28% of gross. Gross percentage, right? Percentage pay is more fair, if that makes sense, because it will change with the market. Cents per mile is better for your company drivers because that way, no matter what the market is doing, their salary does not change as long as they're driving the same amount of miles. So the question is, for who? For the carrier, it's better to do percentage pay because then the market doesn't really matter as much. For the driver, oftentimes It's better to get cents per mile because then they're not subject to what the market is doing. Kurt, yeah, no, as I said, I do not work with CH Robinson. I refuse. I pay per a mile. We do cents per mile, but we, for the flatbed opportunity, we're offering 70 cents per mile or 28% of gross. Jake, yes, that is correct. What process do you use to hire drivers? I mean, I announce it on the channel. I will use Trucker Path. I also use TF1, Transforce One. I do not do Facebook, and I do not do Craigslist. Correct. What the fook? You can make good money if the company is transparent. A lot of companies, what they do is that they edit, Photoshop the rate confirmations to show a different rate to the driver, which is horrible. So transparency is very important. And one of the things I was trying to figure out, because with cents per mile, it's pretty easy for us to be transparent in the sense that we use an ELD, which we use Motive, Keep Trucking. It calculates, it keeps constant track of the odometer. So at the end of, during each pay period, I send just the data from Keep Trucking, and the driver can compare it to his own odometer reading or her own odometer reading to see that we're being transparent with the miles we pay based on odometer readings. My thing right now is, how do I make it transparent with the percentage pay if someone chooses 28% of gross? Because yes, I can send them the rate confirmation, but who's to say that they will trust that I send them the right one? So the other thing I was thinking is asking the broker to send it to their email as well, or I don't know. Transparency is something that is severely lacking in this industry, and this is something that I try to keep on this YouTube channel, within my companies. That is very important. What do I think about Uber Freight? I reported that to the FMCSA not long ago because they're just pigs. But I used to love them. I used to love them because they pay really quickly without taking a percentage. They had a ton of loads for dry vans back in January and February, especially of this year. There was a time where I really, really enjoyed working with them. But just like many brokers out there, they became pigs during this horrific market. Assad, that's a great question. I wanted to get my CDL. Yes, I wanted to get my CDL, but I keep saying this, I am terrified of semi-trucks. Isn't that the weirdest thing? When I sat in a semi-truck in the passenger seat, I nearly had a heart attack because of how high everything is. It just scared the bejesus out of me. Does FreightWaves have a Google app? I'm not sure. That's a great question. I don't know. If you can hang on, this market will come around 100%. Yeah, it will. Do you pay a lot in taxes per year? Do you think the sad freight situation will get better in the near future? I think as if volumes do increase, hopefully, yes, there's going to be some positive changes. Will they stick? I don't know. Um, we really, one of the things we need right now is the economy to be in order. Right now, there is the loan repayment, right? To student loan repayment that starts, I believe it's August, in the beginning of August when it starts. So I calculated or I researched and I found out that that's on average $400 a month for people. And if people are out of pocket $400 a month, they're not spending it on things that go on a truck, right? They're spending it on repaying their debts. Now, paired with the fact that people have been using their credit cards for pretty much everything, especially services, and they will have to repay it at high interest rates. So I'm very curious to see what happens to the economy in the next coming few weeks, months. Yeah. But I'm still hoping for produce season to come around and drive those volumes up and, rates up as well. How do I deal with stress? I work out. That's my best advice. I used to hate working out, but recently, over the past few months, that's the way I deal with stress. Working out. Whoa. Thank you, Dollar Orlando. I appreciate it. um, how do I deal with stress? Where was that comment? There we go. Yeah, working out. Working out is the best, like especially high intensity interval training or weightlifting. Yeah. And of course, coffee actually no, because coffee it increases. I mean, for me, I get like jittery, and jittery becomes like turns into anxious. Yeah. Mm. I have a funny cup. Where did I get it? Yeah, this is Elmo, and on the back it says LOL. Where did I get it? I stole it from my son. He doesn't drink coffee or tea or anything, so he doesn't need it. Wow, it keeps skipping and skipping and skipping. Okay, let's see. Where was I? Uber Freight. Do, 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 do. There we go. Um, Hold on, you guys. There we go. I keep hearing about a broker load. What do you mean, Latroy? How do I keep track of maintenance? I mean, I built Airtable, which is the information, the transportation management system, and that's where I keep track of all the maintenance. I will transfer. How come you don't hire recent grads? What do you mean, like new CDL holders? Because of our insurance. Our insurance is extremely, like ridiculously strict. So, yeah. Oh, there we go. Transport King, you answered it. Hi, Ron. Yeah, agree. Pedro, send me an email, talkabouttrucking@gmail.com. Jake, 28% is cheap. I make 80%. As a W-2, or do you have your own equipment? Because we're not hiring owner operators with their own equipment. This is a company driver position. How is the flatbed market? Prediction. Well, based on, again, I've been working with flatbed only recently, so I don't have much experience, but based on what I have seen, it looks like the flatbed market spot rates peak in August, then they start going down slightly. And yeah, what do I think will happen? Well, the housing market, I mean, the building permits are down. Which means that housing projects will also be down in the next couple of weeks, months. Currently, housing projects are a little bit up. Housing sentiment from consumers was up because of the lower mortgage rates, but that was a month ago. We'll see what happened now because mortgage rates increased again. Yeah. Mm. You switched to CPM, yeah. Jake, yeah, Transport King, yeah, I think Jake is an owner operator. Yeah, owner operators make a completely different percentage, of course. If you have your own equipment and you also pay for all the expenses, such as fuel, maintenance, and all of that, yeah, your percentage will be different. Actually, yeah. We were thinking of offering owner operators 85% if the AB5 allows us, because you're in charge of all your expenses as well, right? But a company driver, they don't pay for anything. We as the company pay for everything. Very, very different. I own trucks. Do you know companies we could lease on these trucks? I personally do not have anyone to oh, Jake, there we go. Yeah. No, it makes sense. Yeah. I own trucks. Do you know companies we could lease on? Unfortunately, I do not have anyone to recommend at this moment. What year did you get into this industry? In 2019. Yeah. Our company was formed. I mean, we officially got all of our documents in order in the summer of 2019, and we started operations in October of 2019. This channel hates brokers, and that's exactly look, we don't hate brokers. I mean, that we don't hate brokers. We hate the big guys who start running their mouth and saying things like, I hope all carriers go out of business. There are so many brokers that are absolutely wonderful. We're all human, but the majority of, especially the big guys, they're ruining the name of the smaller guys, right? That's the thing. Of course, we don't hate all brokers. There are some that are decent, but a lot of the ones that, or the majority of the ones that carriers work with today, it's not even about the fact that they give low rates. Okay, we can blame that on supply and demand. The problem is the communication. The communication is horrific. I mean, the way they talk to carriers, the way they talk to, I am talking from my personal experience, brokers that I've built an amazing relationship with, you know, all of a sudden tell me, we can't work with you. What do you mean you can't work with me? We just did a load for you like 2 weeks ago. And he hangs up. Then I call back and they're like, oh, yeah, there's no problem. Yeah, you can have this load. What is that? This is where it comes from. But no, we do not hate all brokers. It's just carriers started distrusting brokers at the moment because of the big guys. Do we hire owner operators? We're hoping to. We're hoping to be able to lease on owner operators, but at the moment we cannot. We're waiting for California to let us know whether the AB5 law applies to us. Yes, Kurt, exactly. We don't hate brokers, we hate bad brokers. And we tend to approach all brokers with caution because of those bad brokers. Does that make sense? Yeah. There are plenty of amazing ones. Trust me. Like Boomerang, some of you might disagree. Boomerang is amazing. Lighthouse is amazing. I really enjoy working with them. But then there LDI or what's another one? There was another one I forgot that I recently worked with. Horrific. What it was not White Horse Transportation, but something along those lines. Horrific broker. Which logistics company do you think will dominate in the next 2 years? My logistics company. I wish. I don't know. Oof, again, it skipped. No. But why? Did we buy a flatbed or rent? Yeah, we are renting both our flatbeds. The 53-foot one is costing us $1,100 per month, and the 48-foot one is costing us 900, I think 900 per month. Ron, yeah, I try. I mean, I feel bad when I skip over questions because the people who ask these questions might have not heard that I answered them before. And so I feel bad. But yeah, guys, as a reminder, again, if I'm not answering your question, it's possibly because I already answered it and this will be recorded so you can watch. So nothing against you personally. It's just I'm trying to get through as many questions as possible. Wow, I just spaced. Too many drivers. Brokers can make the rate they want. Yeah, it's supply and demand. There is overcapacity. When are we getting out of Cali? Well, one of our companies, we possibly in the near future, the baby company, will move out of Cali. Me personally, yeah, it's going to take a while, unfortunately. Andy, I personally like the Southwest for flatbeds, but as I said before, some people swear by the Midwest. Yeah, I'm sorry, Kurt. Yeah, I know my phone keeps going off and I don't know how to mute it. I'm afraid if I click something, the live is going to turn off because I think I'm good with technology, but God knows. So I do apologize for that, those texts constantly. Mm, 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 mm. Put 30%. For now, I'm going to keep it at 28. Yeah. What would be the best calling platform I can use for dispatching? What do you mean? You mean instead of your own phone? I've never tried ATS. Alejandro, I answered your question. Uber Freight, not the biggest fan at the moment. Trucking Hustle, what was your question? If I skipped it, I might have answered. Oh, wait. Is power only a good start if I just had a class A? Power only, I do not have experience with power only. From what I see, there is the rates are just not there. Let me see what the volumes look like. Where are you? Well, let me just look at, let's see California, because it looks like the volumes in California are picking up right now. So power only from California. Only, and let's do to anywhere Monday. The volume here is 128 loads, but the loads might be unposted right now and will get posted tomorrow. Rates are, to Colorado, interesting rate, $3 per mile. From California to Iowa, 1,831 miles, $2,000. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can. It's so frustrating. I wonder if I mute my computer. You guys can still, yeah, you guys can still hear me. There we go. So, okay, a load just, yeah, so 1,831 miles loaded, $2,000 to Iowa. 1,900 miles for $700. Require, I mean, it's 10,000 pounds. What is it? No, it's a full truckload. 8 days use, 7 to 8 days use, and they're paying $700 for this. So yeah, power only is something that is not my forte for sure, but that's something that I don't think I would be interested in at this time personally. Move out of California. I know, Jake. Yeah, I really want to move out of here. Again, that's the mentality, right? It's very different from my mentality. And that's the hard part. So I am looking to move out of here, but not yet, because right now I cannot. At the moment, I can't. Nolan Transportation is the worst. Never did a load for them, never will. Yeah, I have experiences with them. Sometimes they're okay, but there was one experience I had with them that was just terrible. Okay, we have about 20 minutes, so what load boards can people get on without a DOT number? A DAT, they are, you can get a subscription to their load board as a dispatcher without an MC or DOT. Hey, Furman. Do you work with new brokers whose MC starts with 1 and contains 1? Oh, yeah, no. Veronica, I do not. The reason is a lot of those brokers, if you look, so no, okay, that's a lie. I have worked with those brokers before, but I quickly learned that a lot of them are double brokers, right? The first thing I look at is credit score. If the credit score is bad, which a lot of the new brokers have because they haven't had the chance to build their credit score, they're out automatically. If the broker, I do not factor all my loads, but I like to work with brokers who have a check mark next to the factoring who do factor. This is just in case, and it also tells me that at least through the factoring company, they are reliable. And then I double check through my factoring company, which is RTS. But something I realized is that a lot of these new brokers, they have you realized they have like, they just got their authority. They already have 53 reviews, all 5 stars, and an incredible credit score. How does that happen? So I don't trust them. And any broker that uses rigs to set you up, no, not going to work with them. I'm leasing the truck and trailer, and the company is doing nothing about it to get me my detention for the weekend. Ugh. Armando, yeah, we still use Keep Trucking, which is now called Motive. The Motive got your IFTA wrong? Wow, it never got our IFTA wrong. But we never upload fuel receipts. We only use it for the miles. For the fuel consumption, we use RTS. Tashi, the flatbed that we're renting, the 53-foot one, it's 1,100, and the 48-foot one is 900. What platform should I choose for calling purpose? I know there's Ring Central that you can use. There's Grasshopper, Unitil Voice, Skype. You can get your own phone number on Skype. Those are the 3 I know. Trucking hustle, yeah, no problem, absolutely. Oh, and you're in Sacramento, California. Yeah, it's a mess with power, only from what I see. Then again, these 128 loads for tomorrow, that number might increase because on Sunday, a lot of brokers don't post what's going to be coming out tomorrow. So keep an eye on the load board if you have access. Oops, skipped again. Where was I? Kurt, if you can afford Sonar. Yeah, Sonar is wonderful. I really, really enjoy Sonar. Would I use it if not for this YouTube channel? Probably not. I think it's a great source of information. It's a lot of data to get through, right? There is a use for it for a trucking company that's just looking to find loads and to see what they have to negotiate. They have a wonderful market dashboard there. But personally, it's something that I use for YouTube because it helps me explain and gives me the data. And of course, as I explained to you guys, because what's my process like making videos? Full transparency. I look at the data, I write up like an essay analyzing that data, and then I read through it a couple of times, and then I regurgitate it to the camera and upload it to you guys. So as I do that, I learn a ton about the market as well. So Sonar is a blessing for sure, paired with this YouTube channel for me. But it can have really good, you can find use for it. It has, again, a wonderful market dashboard for reefers and dry vans. Anyone renting out reefer trailers? I actually have not found a place, not that I really looked, but I have not found a place to rent reefer trailers. Do you have Facebook and IG other than your business account? I do, but I don't share that one. Thank you, Assad. I appreciate the support. Oh, Ring Central requires LLC. I don't know. I've never heard of that. Maria, yeah, no, I have. So I didn't do factoring. I started factoring not recently. I think it was like a little bit less than a year ago, but I don't factor all loads, but I do it through RTS, right? So factoring is there just to have the option in case cash flow. Again, I wear suspenders with a belt, so I like to see a certain amount on the accounts. If the brokers are starting to be late, I'll start factoring some loads to keep that cash flow there. Cash flow is the one of the most important things in this business. Okay. Oh, I'm already at the bottom of the chat. I can't believe I did that. How is the Thank you, Furman. I appreciate it. Appreciate your support. And love that. What is it? A dog or a fox? Whatever it is, it's cute. um, how is the coast to coast freight lanes going west to east? So let's take a look. Okay, let's see Bakersfield again, and let's put Reefer. From what I see, Reefers are actually interesting. So, so it says here from Fresno, California to Salem, Virginia, it's $7,000, 2,555 miles. Let's take a look. One pick, one drop, and loads in Santa Maria, which is God knows how far away, but $7,000. Not bad. Reefers from California, it's not bad. I mean, relatively. Would I say dispatching can be done as an online job? Yeah, it could be. Dispatching is the single, I don't want to say it's the easiest. It's not the easiest job. No, it's not. But it is the one that carries the least amount of liability. As long as you have a good internet connection and an online filing system, yeah, you can do your dispatching job from anywhere. But you do have to be online. If you want to be a good dispatcher, you need to be available constantly and be a problem solver. Yeah, no, guys. So I didn't do factoring. I used to not do factoring, but then I started less than a year ago. I mean, I opened up the options and I factor some loads. I don't factor all of them. I can go a month without factoring. This is only when the brokers are so late in payments and the expenses keep coming that the cash flow or the account, the money on the account is not where I need it to be. So I start factoring to replenish it because again, I wear suspenders with a belt, but no, I do not factor all loads. Thanks, Assad. Would you move to Canada? I've heard I would love to go to Canada to see it. I've heard the people are really nice. What state am I? I'm in California. I'm in California, but I wish I was either in, well, Texas, not so much anymore because of how many Californians moved there, but from Idaho or Montana. Are you finally putting your dry van to work yet? No, we're trying to sell it. I decided that if we really, one thing that the past few months or a year has taught me is that I don't trust the market. I don't know how long something will last, right? It might look so good and then it just like crumbles. So until it starts sticking, I don't trust it. So I think what we're going to do is we're selling the dry van And if for some reason the dry van market is going to get good, we're going to trade in one of our rented flatbeds for a rented dry van. The only things we're not looking to sell is the reefers, because those are harder to rent, and because reefers are, I mean, they transport perishables, which are a necessity for consumers, right? Do I mentor? I do not at this time. Good night, Pedro. What freight sites do you recommend to use as a new authority? Well, I mean, I was a new authority in 2019. It was a little bit of a different time. Brokers were a little bit more lenient with new authorities, but I always used DAT, and I always used DAT Power. This is where I find the freight. Now, when I got the flatbeds, that's when I got Truck Stop, because for flatbeds, Truck Stop is better in terms of load boards. But that is where I would start. Hisham, that's hilarious. Yeah, I think most mechanics have a crush on most trucks, it seems, if we're using that logic. Yeah, it's crazy. Everything is so delayed and so slow. It's a mess. Demon driver. Idaho. Yeah, Idaho is beautiful. I've looked at Idaho, Idaho, Montana. Oh my God, they're gorgeous. Montana is a little remote. I mean, I could, I'm a loner as it is. I don't really like crowds of people. I'm the kind of person that I like to be kind of by myself. And yeah, I'm a loner. But Montana might be a little bit too remote for me. Idaho seems, it's beautiful. I mean, the United States in general, it's so gorgeous. I think that you should get into intermodal business, possibly, right? Possibly. Nothing, no door is locked. Everything can potentially open. It just depends which way the wind blows. How can you build confidence when dispatching? Practice. It takes practice. I will never forget my first call when dispatching. It was a TQL broker, and it was this young guy. And I was so scared. It was my first call. And I told him, like, I'm so sorry, I'm new, just slow down. And he is like, oh, yeah, I'm new too. And it was like perfect. It was perfect. But yeah, it's practice. Practice speaking with brokers. And don't let, if you come across someone who's in a bad mood and says something nasty, don't let that get you down. Remember, they wouldn't have said that to your face. For cargo vans, I'm not familiar with that type of equipment, but from what I know, you can use the DAT load board for cargo vans as well. Is it common for company drivers getting paid CPM not to get paid for deadhead miles? Yes, unfortunately, it is common. Unfortunately, it is common, and a lot of company drivers get kind of cheated on miles. The companies will use like Pro Miles or PC Miler or whatever. I don't even know what the names are, but that's why we pay via odometer readings. It considers all miles. Ashman, can I recommend a good dispatching course? Well, I have one. If you want to go to truckingmadesuccessful.com, my website, and go under dispatching course, there's the curriculum there. So I teach about pretty much everything related to dispatching, and it's a pre-recorded course. I think the chat is a little bit delayed too. How's the Apple market in Yakima? Let's see what's happening in Yakima. Gosh, I haven't worked with Reefers for so long, it feels like. Even though it's been like a month. A little bit over a month. Let's see, Yakima. Well, for tomorrow, what the heck? Why are there only 4 loads posted for tomorrow? That is terrible. Let's do any Reefer. It might just be because it's the weekend, but currently, oof. There's a van Reefer load, which pays horrible. Yeah, I don't see anything right now, unfortunately. Let's see. How much is your pre-recorded? My dispatching course is 160. What's your guess on when the market will get better? Just asking because you got the data. So it's interesting. The data says, right? We can't make the way we make predictions is by looking at historical data. The data says that the market should be starting to the market should start getting better right now in terms of the spot market because of produce season. Now we know that in reality produce season is delayed because of the weather in California. So that's not true. We also know that historically every single November, now the produce season usually lasts until August, beginning of September. Then we know that historically speaking, November and December are pretty good because it's Thanksgiving, it's Christmas, lots of gifts, lots of consumer demand. This is historically. What are analysts saying? Some analysts are saying we hit bottom and it's going to be up from here. The analysts that I trust from FreightWaves are saying we've hit bottom and we're going to stay here for a few months. This is what I trust. Anyway, guys, let's do one more question and then I'll do another live. Not next Sunday, but the Sunday after. Thank you, Kicker. I appreciate you watching. Send me an email, Centurion. Did you send me an email? If not, send me an email. Talk about trucking@gmail.com. What's for dinner? Excellent question. I refuse to cook today, so I have no idea. Eggs. That's what's for dinner. I'm also on keto. For those of you who don't know, by the way, keto is amazing. So my go-to is eggs. Nazir, oh my gosh, just no, man. Yeah. All right, guys. Anyway, I'm going to go because, yeah, it's been 2 hours. We did good. Anyway, we're going to do another live with you guys, not next Sunday, but the Sunday after. And yeah, thank you for joining. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm doing the carrier update for Patreon. The day after tomorrow, I'm going to do the performance for May. And of course, Friday, we're going to do the trucking market update and forecast. Oh, wait, that's Father's Day. That's right. Is it Father's Day? I'm sorry. Hold on. Oh, I always end up doing the lives on. Yeah, it's Father's Day. Damn it. Okay, we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll do a live next Sunday. Thank you for reminding me. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in a few days. Bye.